All right, hello. Welcome to the Thursday's London Open session Silver Bullet. Let me quickly add the current account balance to the view, and let's start. So well, nice of a run on the sell side liquidity we had yesterday. Um, After I closed the London Open session, it just wilted lower aggressively, attacking the sell side. And ever since it turned around and is trading some higher. Current range is this high, this low, and that's what I want to focus on, I believe, for now. All right, so this is like a deep premium off of this range, and I believe that we could possibly be aiming at something that's inside of that range. The first thing that comes to my mind is this week, based on the hourly chart this week. I will grade that and annotate it greatly and take this off. So this is like the premium array. This is like the premium array on the upside that I like to see the price draw up into, right? So we made a low, failed to make a lower low, started trading higher. So from discount, seeking some measure of premium. Where would that be inside of this range? It's this discount, now premium week, because we are below it. And I believe that's the draw on liquidity right now. Adding to that, we have relative equal highs buy side liquidity right underneath that level, which is an additional draw. This is like an additional draw on the upside. Okay. We do have this potential inversion prevailing up here that could act as a foothold. So I'll be watching whether we can close above it. Whether we can close above it soon on this hourly candle. Then I would really like to see this act as bullish inversion to send us into this area here. At least that's what I would expect. Yeah, I like those relative equal highs. Went higher, we went above it on a closing basis on a 15-minute here. And then efficiency down there. Somewhat of a too smooth radical lows in here, I would say. To some degree. A little bit suspect. But that's like literally the only thing that could be concerning. For the buy side. I will annotate it nonetheless for completeness sake. And we'll see. Radical high is taken here. Deeper run above that. I like this. I like this busy here. I like this busy. All right. Let me go to ES. So yeah, I mean, ES took this short-term low, traded into this inefficiency here. On the daily. And pulled back into this volume imbalance. But also having price liquidity now above this high. It left perfect atypical lows though. Well, this one I'm a little bit more concerned about how it wants to deliver, and this one shows me less likely or less probable continuation right now. This one feels weaker in comparison to Nasdaq. Significantly weaker. So any downside would be more visible on ES, I believe. Yeah, it's way weaker. So if I want to be buying, I don't want to necessarily or probably be doing this with ES. All right, but for Nasdaq, I have a cleaner idea, and it's this buy side with the premium array up there, and that's what I'd be looking for. That's what I'd be looking for near term. And we'll see what we get overall or after all, how it does. So 3 a.m. will be starting just now. 3 a.m. will be starting just now. I would love to find any discount sensitivity in the upper half of this hourly inversion. These are the targets and or objectives on the upside. So yeah, let's see. Price currently consolidating here on the 1 minute. So I'm not in a rush. I would prefer though to see some little spike lower first. Some run on sell liquidity first. I would prefer that a lot, especially while having relatively lows like this. Snapping below them would be quite reasonable. Technically, I like everything as far as this 111 busy as a potential retracement. That sounds reasonable, to say the least, that's for sure. Exactly, Mr. Trader P1. Exactly. Yeah, for the majority of time it was strict 1 to 2. But then I moved slightly away from that risk to reward model, and I switched to more flexible model, in a sense where I'm technically like content with 1 to 1 risk to reward, but obviously I like to look for at least 2. If I can get 1 to 3, that's awesome, but it should not be less than 1 to 1 for sure. For me, I mean, for my model here. All right, let's take a look on the SMT study. In that regard, what do you have? Clearly, yes, is lagging. Nasdaq is the leader. Nasdaq is stronger. But any SMT in terms of the lows here? Yes, has also radical lows clean. Radical lows and both consolidating. So yeah, I wait. I'll wait for now. All right, looks like we are making an attempt to sweep those relative lows. That would be nice. ES left equal highs, perfect. Nasdaq left equal highs too. I'm going for a little bit of run on the sell side, possibly. Wouldn't be bad at all to see that happening. Quick check on the dollar index. So far, it's seeing a little bit of a pressure off of this little bearish for value up here, with this inversion here too. So this short-term low might be a measure of a draw. And weakness on dollar is, or usually allows for, strength on indices too. But I saw a lot of bearish sentiment too, like in the internet, which also kinda makes me favoring higher prices overall. All right, so we are just staying inside of this consolidation. For now, I don't necessarily want to engage inside of this. I feel like that's too much of a gamble here. I mean, yeah, it could go either way technically. That's a pretty cute visual representation of a consolidation. A really nice box of price action being shown on both ES and Nasdaq. All right, let's see. Now we are hanging around the upper half of this consolidation. Nasdaq being definitely close to poke above it. But again, I don't want to, gamble on what it might want to do. I would rather want to see which side it will go first for. And I would prefer to run the sell-side liquidity first. Unless it would just do like a very shallow sweep on the buy side and then reject for the sell side, that would be good too. But let's see, ES is holding around the lower end of the consolidation. Nasdaq is hanging around the upper end of the consolidation. ES basically furthermore showing its weakness, while Nasdaq furthermore it's showing its strength, relative strength in comparison to ES. And these are my objectives on the upside still for the Nasdaq. Preferring to trade Nasdaq over ES because it's stronger, so it should have easier time reaching any premium arrays. Versus ES that's is struggling already. I feel like ES is maybe more of a six sister type of idea, but I'm not sure at the moment. As long as Nasdaq has room to go, I feel I prefer to use and or potentially trade Nasdaq over ES. But yeah, let's see. So we are tapping above the buy sell liquidity first. That's fine. I don't mind. So now we are technically tapping any breakout traders to the upside, right? So relative equal highs, nice breakout above that. Only with a wick, not that so far. So let's see what it does afterwards. I will be setting this up a little bit like this so I can see the draw. And now, I mean, I still need to see, because I was preferring to see the sell side being taken out first, right? But what happened? The buy side is being taken out first. So that's already a little bit, I don't want to say less optimal. I don't want to say that, but it was less preferred for sure. And that will require a little bit more information still, I believe. So I don't want to be in a rush after price did something that I wasn't preferring by definition. So what is happening right now? We had a consolidation, a nice little box of price action, and we are trading above that currently. So right now, anyone who was trying to catch a short and or a breakout, or maybe especially the breakout longs above this high, are being triggered in and offered a little bit of initial steam, a little bit of initial profit here. Because it's still kind of early into the session, I wouldn't mind to drag them all the way down to the relative equal lows here to then actually make the real move, right? Because the best moves will have stop hands before them. And here we didn't really saw that. We just consolidated relative equal lows, relative equal highs, and we've taken the relative equal highs first. Fine. So now I'm watching. Whether it wants to turn around and roll over towards those lows, and or whether it wants to keep on displacing higher and keep delivering potentially higher prices, right? So ES is slightly trying to match that higher high, but it's on a very shallow basis and on a weak basis only, no body closed. And ES has perfect relative low sell side liquidity left too, which would be, yeah, just a banter not to come back to clear that out, I think. I feel like. So yeah, there are a couple potential scenarios that could unfold off of this consolidation like this at the start. There are a couple of scenarios, and it's key to like see what price will do after it broke above. I don't necessarily would like to buy this little inefficiency in here. Just for the sake of buying a bullish for value gap, because we just ran relative equal highs here. So I wouldn't be very, very comfortable with that. But there are technically two main options that I see. And one is the idea with running the buy side, triggering any breakouts, and then dragging them lower towards the relative equal lows. That's one way. And then after running sell side, unfolding the real run. And the second idea, our second option, is that we run the relative equal highs, we went above it, we will fail to come back to those lows, to those highs, and we will see a measure of displacement to the upside, like real displacement with large, strong up close bodies. And then the displacement would be probably like a tip off that it's not going to go for those lows right now, and it's in a rush to reach the premium array right away, I would say. So these are the main two scenarios that I'm technically thinking of that could potentially unfold. Which one will it be? I don't know necessarily right now. I usually prefer that one with the with running the sell side first, and that's what I like. But a displacement higher from where it is wouldn't be like too terrible after all too, I feel like. Right, so far after we've taken the buy side, we see a measure of consolidation that looks like a bull flag to me, a little in a little sense. Looks like a little tiny bull flag. But yeah, generally still waiting for information. All right, let's see. We are picking up a little bit of speed, and it looks like we'll be returning back to that to those old highs, those radical highs. All right, so far it looks more of a like a return lower rather than a displacement higher, right? Doesn't look like a strong displacement to the upside right now. We close below the old radical highs. That's fine. And let's see. All right, so I'm looking closely this large down candle here. Uh, this candle canceled any potential inefficiency in here. It closed that out, but the body stayed below this potential little inversion for value gap here. That might be under utilization right now. So let's see. And generally, I want to see right now whether we can offer any run towards those lows from where we are right now, and not trade above this candle's opening here, because if we do that, that could turn this down candle here into a bullish order block. And then it shouldn't go below this down candle, but right now I'm still, I mean, it still looks a little bit too iffy for me to engage on this price action right now. Yeah, I mean, yes, is clearly weaker. Yes, swept this very politely, and it's already closer to the lows versus Nasdaq staying strong at the highs. So yeah, definitely don't want to short Nasdaq right now. So I kind of feel like as long as we are not trading above this candle's opening price, then some lower prices are more likely in a sense. But yeah, this is still very tight and very small scale after all. Well, as I'm watching, I'm fishing. What can I squeeze out of this session in here? I see some potential, but it will need to perform certain way first. Right now, it's not necessarily doing so, so I'm waiting. Well, it technically went into another consolidation right now. So that's why I prefer to wait and see. So far, there was nothing that I would like that I would really like to perform on. All right, so we see a run higher through this opening price. So this should act as a bullish order block right now. We'll see if it will. Let's see if we can form any fair value gap with this displacement. I don't necessarily like how it came off of this high and closed here. Not a huge fan of that. So yeah, I mean, that's too small of a displacement in here for me to consider that a viable idea to enter, I believe. It's really like not that strong. It took this high, yes. It came a lot of the high, and the next candle, yeah, just a small range, indecisive candle. So it formed a bullish fair value gap here, yes, at 327. And the only fact that I would like about this is that it's kind of overlapping with the change of the state of delivery. But yeah, I don't think that's enough for me to take a risk on this. It's already testing the boundaries, trading to the mean threshold or approaching the mean threshold of the order block. This small little fair value gap is in play too. Alright, fine. I mean, this is still all very much overlapping, arranging. There is not much displacement behind that anyway. So, yeah. ES is still completely inside of this consolidation. It then broke out of this. It just stays inside of that, which I guess it's fair because it's weaker, but still. Now a small little bearish for Vega formed in here. Yeah, I generally don't like those inefficiencies too much. Maybe besides this little one here. Maybe I like this one a little bit, but this here I don't. So I will trade into this order block here. The upper half is being worked around right now. So natural order of things. If they bought here and bought more here, it should have no issues to cleanly move away from this area, and preferably do it with a measure of displacement, which could or should form an institutional order for entry drill along the way then. But again, that's something that I would like to wait for rather than guessing guessing an entry inside of this. Hello, Mr. M. Zain. I'm very good, thank you. How about you? By the way, thanks for asking. Yeah, I mean, it's really hesitant to show displacement either way so far, either lower or higher. It's really hesitant to do anything in that regard. Right, it swept this short-term high again, but yeah, I was looking for a potential displacement here, a nice up close, but we came all the way down and closed near the open, which again isn't terribly exciting still. Small body candle, small range body candles. This looks like a measure of compression that might lead to an expansion sooner or later, but yeah, still I wouldn't like to do anything with this price action right now anyway. Speaking of displacement, we have another attempt to displace lower now. So let's see. I like the down candle here, closed exactly at the low. Beautiful displacement. I mean, starting beautiful displacement. Let's see how it will go. The next candle would need to follow that through a little bit. All right. It formed a small little bearish for value gap in here. Which actually has a volume imbalance right there, so it's larger in its scale. I will remove this one for now and remove this one for now too. And I want to focus on this 336 inefficiency. All right, going above it though, on a closing basis could warrant an idea with this being an inversion for value gap. But so far we traded to the high of it, but closed underneath. So that's signalizing to me that we will see some downside delivery next. All right, I mean, I would love to take out or sweep those relatively lows first before anything else, really. So let's see. So far, looks like we are turning around, respecting this inefficiency, and we swept the lows or this low here. It could do it a little bit more, I wouldn't mind. But nonetheless, this inefficiency in here, 336, I believe that's like a key inefficiency to potentially yield a setup. So I potentially would like to see this act as a bullish inversion for value gap, right? And allow me for, I mean, that could allow me for going long, potentially aiming for the buy side here and that premium up there. Just like a small idea, but only if we would, you know, close above that convincingly, then came back down to it, and that could have been an idea to work with. So far we swept this low, showed no willingness to continue, and let's see if we can close above it on the next candle and then offer a return. If yes, that could have been a long idea for me to seek higher prices, I think. If not, then I'm not doing anything. But that's like a little array that I like to watch, because it could possibly yield a setup here. It's not guaranteed still, but it could possibly do that, I feel like. So yeah, I like the fact that it took this short-term low here. That was rather nice. All right, and it closed above that here. So I click the buy limit here. It gave a little touch here, but then filled me. Maybe I wasn't even quick enough. And nice displacement higher, right of that high, right of the gate. All right. I was looking to enter on this inversion here, then get that entry and price run away. So now let's see. What will be offered. There is still quite some range that I could possibly work with. So any higher inefficiency could or should act as an institutional order for entry drill. So I might want to possibly look for that. So I'm watching this closely here. All right, it displaced quite a bit in here, quite nicely, not gonna lie. This fair value gap. So any return down into it here out view or like to see as a potential how is it called? Institutional or French drill. All right, so I will move the order to this candle's low, and I will allow for touch into this here, but preferably not overlap this completely. So I'm using this as institutional or French drill here, this candle. All right, looks like it's not giving me that either. Looks like it's not giving me that either, so this looks like a festival of missed entries. I failed to get a fill here. I failed to get a return here by a tick. So yeah, might be that I will miss that altogether. Let's see though, that's where I think it's going. I wanted to use this as inversion, then got the fill. Then I wanted to use this as institutional order for entry drill here. It then came back to fill me by just a little bit. And it moved. Now forming a fair value gap here with this down candle, which is a bullish order block potentially. So that will be somewhat of an idea. But that's like the extent of it. And I'm not the biggest fan, I feel like. But yeah, maybe that's what I could or should utilize. It would fill me here. So yeah, I feel like I should have maybe done this. If I use this here, I'm not sure though. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't change the fact that I missed it anyway at this point. Was a little bit too hesitant. With that one because I feel like we might see, or maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? We're hitting the macro too, so it could be expanding more aggressively. So yeah, looks like that was the only entry that was available for now. I'm not sure how it will perform overall or after all. So far, price tapped into it and started running. So far, so good. And that's obviously now hypothetical and or in hindsight because I missed that. But that's the only one that was actually offered that I could consider, right? That was the only one. Yeah, I mean, still looking pretty decent though. I mean, definitely has a lot of potential to seek the buy side off of this. But again, that higher for value gap was just a little bit outside of my interest in terms of, I don't know, it felt like too deep or too rich into this range. Maybe that was just my visual mistake, because it's technically pretty close to that institutional order French drill. There's like 10 handles of a difference, and it offered that here. Well, I will cancel the order for now because I want to regroup a little bit and don't chase price after all. I like this as inversion, run away without me. I like this as institutional French will run away without me. This I was hesitant. It gave a touch, ran slightly away. Now I can probably just study whether this would deliver or not, and just practice a little bit of patience, I suppose. Yeah, there will be some 15-minute bullish inefficiency in here. By the way, I was not aware of this inefficiency here on the 15-minute. Well, that would have been a banger if I was aware of that. But yeah, now it's returning to it here. But again, I'm not quite sure if that's the area where I would like to go in with it. Because if we think about it, we displaced from this low and continuously went higher, 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 higher until this high. And this inefficiency is clearly above the 50% of this range, right? So the only one that would be somewhat considered by me is the 343 at this moment as a potential long, right? And letting this one go, even if it would deliver, I'll just let this go. I don't know, that's kind of how I feel about this situation. There might be a little bit of inversion here going forward. So I might watch this. But yeah, this would be like somewhat of an ideal scenario because look, sell side taken, displacement higher, market structure shift, inefficiency below the 50%, discount inside of a bullish bias. That's the model 2022 in itself, kinda. So let me see if I could get a return into this one here with this idea. Right, so it smashed through this inefficiency in here, and I kind of expected that, so glad that I was not engaging on this. Came really close to this one, didn't touch the high yet. So still couple more minutes to wait and see, I suppose. Another bearish revival gap that could turn into a potential inversion, but yet I would still like to see this trade into this here, I believe. It failed to do so, which could be a measure of strength, technically. Technically, but I don't know. Looks like it's smashing through this, failing to even reach into this fair value gap and offering a measure of displacement now. All right, it actually came back and filled me here on this fair value gap in the last second of this London Open session silver bullet. So I guess I'm content with this one. If it will smash through and stop me out, I'll be fine. I'll be completely content. But yeah, I like the idea. I like the draw. I like the PDR. I like the structure. Therefore, I'm down to watch and see whether we can offer a run towards this level. This is basically the buy liquidity that I'm aiming for with this idea. And having 50% with this high in here. So that's technically where a partial would go. So I would like to sell 2 here. And I would like to sell the remaining balance here. By the way, there is some storm happening in my area right now, so I really hope I will not lose the connection. I really hope that it won't happen to me. But you never know, right? You never know. But yeah, looks like everything is set up. And perfect, beautiful reaction here. Consecutive encroachment, body staying above. It should fly to the upside. I love the speed. I love the speed factor here. I mean, with this speed, I would like think maybe I could move my first partial here a little bit higher instead of taking this here, but I will leave it as it is, just in case just in case. But it looks strong here. All right, there you go. So the first partial got off. By the way, I need to execution marks, yeah. So that was the first one. Entering here at this candle's low, exiting at this partial liquidity pool here, first partial, and aiming for full target at the partial liquidity old high up there. So now I need to adjust, not like this. Now I need to adjust my stop loss. Yes, that's the stop loss, and this I can cancel, and I'm basically set. So if I lose electricity to the storm, it should not harm me in any way, I hope. I love how quickly it's stretching higher here. It's really going for it though. It's really going for it. So I guess seeing that fast of a delivery here, I could have removed the partial here and go for the full target, I believe, at that moment. Or at least consider that as an option, maybe, and just manage that position with the stop loss instead. But yeah, nonetheless, I'll be el contento if I can hit that buy set here. All right, so this is the first down candle inside of this price swing here. So let's see if we can quickly recoup that and go above it. Small little suspension block here. That's where it traded. Immediately moves away. Beautiful delivery here. So I'll add this as a W to the counter. 18 wins, 17 losses. First time in the series that I'm going positive with my win rate. That's the first time after over 2 months. Now I'd like to see a quick continuation and run towards the buy side, nail it, and be completely finished. All right, a little bit too far down the liver in here, right underneath the relative equal highs buy side. I still like the target here. I was honestly hoping that it will just smash right on through that when we were here. This type of retracements can be a little bit annoying near term. I hope they are not, or should be not, too impactful overall for this idea. I'm thinking in terms of like managing my stop loss, where would I like to put it? I believe I could or should trim it to just below this candle's low here, which is the busy, because I believe price shouldn't necessarily go down there from where it is. I would rather see just tap into the target actually than came all the way down below here, because if it does, then it's really not that special anymore. I feel like that was apparently an area for a partial here that would feel nice after this pullback lower, but still sticking and or submitting to the initial idea. Yeah, let it I will let it go and possibly reach that buy side still, as long as we stay above the consecutive encroachment of this busy. It should be all good, and this might be just a very short-term adversity, but it shouldn't be anything like greater than that. If we start losing the consecutive encroachment here, then I could consider a close, a manual close, or something like that. Right now, I'm just still watching for the buy side, I feel like. So I think that's like a good compromise here with this stop loss below this candle's low, because it kinda gives the position still room to breathe and gyrate around, while still like if it goes against me and goes below there, then I will cover something. I mean, I'll cover more, slightly more than likely than getting stopped out at break even. So now we are trading back into this busy, and I would warrant a reaction of either the upper quadrant or the consecutive encroachment. So far the upper quadrant is in play. Let's see if we can master some discount sensitivity here. But again, I see this as a short little adversity, a short little retracement to a discount like this busy, to eventually shoot up for the buy side and clear that out. If it's really good, it should really not go below the consecutive encroachment, right? It went to the upper quadrant, that's perfect. Nice reaction here. So we should be going higher now. So let's reclaim the suspension block here. Reclaim that and quickly run towards the buy side, because there is a little pool of buy side liquidity here, which is in close proximity, obviously, to that larger one. So a lot of buy side resting around there. So easy picking, I guess. I like the volume imbalance though. I like this little guy. All right, so we swept that high slightly. It should speed up towards the buy side strongly, and I really hope I will not lose electricity to the storm. But it's going hard though. Wish me luck. I'm waiting for the follow through here. This candle. Potential institutional order for entry drill to smash it, but it's not giving me that here, which is just unlucky though. Yeah, that's not good. That's problematic. That's problematic. Well, I was really expecting that we will or we should tap into the buy side after we took this short-term high. I was really looking for that to happen. But yeah, the moment this candle failed or started to failing, that was not good. And that doesn't necessarily need to mean a stop out right away, but it just means a little bit of more prolonged price delivery here, which, yeah, I mean, I would rather be done already than just sit through retracements like this. But what can you do, right? What can you do? It quickly came back for the stops below this low into the consecutive encroachment, but the body stayed in the upper quadrant half. So if that's the case, price should quickly reject and run through this 418 CB, quickly inverse that and just run the buy side liquidity, right? If that was just a stop run to unseat any tight trailing long stop losses, right? So that should have been a run on that. It was very quick, sudden, and I don't want to say unexpected, but rather scary, especially for someone who had a stop loss below this low. Now taken out, and now the buy side can be reached. In my opinion, there is nothing else that I would require the price to do on the downside before reaching the buy side, right? Good morning, Martin. I like that you always know your levels, brother. That's amazing. Right, so that's what important to me right now, that this was a run on stops, and it really should have no reason to go lower at this moment and just deliver the buy side. That's what I'm thinking, more or less. Run on stops into the BC one more time, and now obliterate the buy side. If it goes lower, below this low, it's probably not good for me. Then I'm probably gonna get stopped out, I think. Yeah, I think the least that will be the case. I can grade this week for the completeness sake. It should turn around here and send it higher though. If obviously I'm correct about the draw, if it's actually gonna go there and stuff like that. It doesn't need to, right? I already banked something, so that's good. But obviously it would be sweet if it were to run that ultimate buy side liquidity. Right, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this type of price action here. But yeah, what can I do about it, right? I'm submitting to the idea though, and that's it. So yeah, basically I just don't want to trust any reversals here right now and being bearish just because without reaching that premium array on Nasdaq that's pretty strong currently in relative terms to the ES would be such a shame to not do that, I suppose. But yeah, let's see. All right, I mean, it showed initial respect to that weak discount week. It can't even lay a body inside of it, which is a good sign, I would say. That's what I want to see. But again, it needs to displace, and this is a good start. So let's see. I'm watching this closely now. Whether we can actually bulk up a run higher now. Good start to it. Nice bold up close candle with a close near the high. I like to see that. Now we are trading into that 1 minute bearish fair value gap, a SIBI, that I suppose could or should act as a bullish inversion fair value gap. So I don't necessarily want to see much resistance being offered inside of it. Preferably, I would just like to smash right on through it. We do see initial rejection around consecutive encroachment. Which is a little bit problematic, I suppose. This type of reaction, that's not what I wanted to see, certainly. Coming back into that discount week, it definitely became ugly. Definitely became ugly. Yeah, it's not as pristine as it was a couple minutes ago. But yeah, what can I do? What can I do? So seems like we are attempting to run this low again. Like this. We definitely cleared some sell side here. Diving into this week, close exactly at the consecutive encroachment, not below, exactly at the consecutive encroachment. Very close to taking the short-term low, definitely. and that would be a second run on stops in here. And if it doesn't stop me out, then yeah, maybe theoretically it could still go, but that's I don't want to say somewhat of a gamble, but that's unknown, definitely unknown. But whatever happens, I'm content, that's for sure. Another CB right here, taking this low out, and this is the time for the price to reject, in my opinion. Otherwise it might require a deeper retracement or altogether a reversal, right? But yeah, this already is like problematic, right? This already is like problematic. Right, so that's the last chance, right? This random stops here. All of this, in my opinion, fake bearishness, and I would expect still a run on the buy side. And now is the last chance. If it goes one more time lower, I will definitely get stopped out. So it's literally last chance for me to see it deliver. Yeah, ES here is a little bit problematic because it's weak and it has those equal lows here it could go for. Yeah, fun fact, we have some SMT on the lows. ES is not matching them, but that's not necessarily the best sign, I would say, here, or the strongest signature. We tapped into this fair value gap here, rejecting that initially. So that looks a little bit concerning for this low. But I guess just let it do its thing. All right, just do it. Just do it. If you have to, just do it. Don't tease me for too long. Don't give me hope, Nasdaq. Just stop me out. If you want to do that, just do it. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that's the trade nonetheless. That's the trade nonetheless. All right, I guess fair enough. I had opportunities here to take another partial and or close ahead of target, sure. But honestly, I was really thinking that it will go there. I was really anticipating that, so I stick to the idea. Then it started to be a little bit ugly, messy. It was more difficult. Yeah, a few times it did something that I didn't want to see. But again, still I covered a little bit more than if I had my stop loss at break even, because here I would get stopped out for nothing. Here I got I don't know, 15 handles, maybe less, but that's something. That's always something, right? Nonetheless, what's the account balance for today? It's 205. All right, 205 even. That's how much I was able to squeeze out of this. It could have been way more, obviously, if I were covering up here or hitting actual target. It would have been closer to over 400 or something like that. So twice as much, but I guess that's reasonable of a execution anyway, allowing for some imperfect result, and not getting to the actual draw as it did. So yeah, nonetheless, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching though. Kudos to you guys, and see you around tomorrow, I believe, right? So that will be the next session for this week. I will still watch those radical highs for the day. I don't think we are done with them, but it might require a deeper retracement before it happens. So yeah, we'll see. Nonetheless, thanks, and I wish you guys a pleasant reminder of the day. Bye.